Hello everyone, I just want to do a quick review of my Husky 80-inch toolbox with Hutch. I have made modifications to the box. As you can see, I did purchase two of the side cabinets for the larger toolbox off of Home Depot's website, and I relocated the stock side locker that comes with the 80-inch box to the top and use it more as a storage, I guess you could say, box for my fluids and such. Just briefly show you some of the modifications that I've made. One of the big drawbacks from the toolbox, I'd say, when you initially purchase it, is the wimpy light that it comes with. What I did was I purchased a light from Harbor Freight. It's their LED shop light. And one of the things I did to make it work with the toolbox was I secured it with zip ties to the frame of the toolbox. There are frame points that you can see inside the hutch, and I wire tied it. And another thing is, when you first initially put the light up there, one of the big problems is it'll prevent the hutch from fully opening. What I did was I just took a pair of pliers and just gently squeezed the aluminum housing of the light, and it allowed it to slide back in its full lock position. And just a couple of things: diagnostic equipment, of course, coffee, just, the basic necessities. And as far as the modifications to the lockers, one of the things I did do when I purchased the side lockers, I contacted Home Depot, the Husky team, and they were able to get me a set of locks to match the rest of the box. I've heard that some people who have purchased the 80-inch box with the Hutch had three different sets of locks. So luckily, when I bought the main box, the side locker, the lower section, and the hutch itself all had the same locks. As far as the lockers for the larger box, what I ended up having to do with that was replace those locks. And the lock team was great. They were able to send me out a new set of locks. Initially, I had planned on purchasing them, but they ended up sending those out for free, and I'm really grateful for that. And I will show you here in a second what I did with the original side locker. So when I did change the locks over, I did have to modify the locking mechanism to actually make it work, because one of the issues that you'll run into if you try to do the same thing that I did was you'll notice that the hole is not large enough for this bar here. So you will have to ream it out a little bit bigger to accept the new locks. What I did with the wimpy light that comes with the toolbox, I relocated it inside of here, and there are holes inside the locker where you can run power to. I just keep that for storage for some of my tools and equipment. All right, and the other side locker, I just primarily use it for like my printer, my charging station for my lights and such, and my refrigerator. Because if you work in any kind of office setting, your food and drinks aren't safe. All right, and as far as the original side locker. Let me pause the camera for a second. All my chemicals and such extra tools that will not fit in the locker currently, or stuff that I don't want there, I'm primarily put it up here. Now, one of the things to make that work, because the side lockers are shorter, I did buy a section of plywood and a section of angled aluminum. So the plywood is actually sandwiched between the two lockers, and all I did was paint the angled aluminum to match the black gloss black trim of the main box, and the plywood is just rested up top, and the anchors for the side locker for the original box are still in place and actually secured with wood screws through the wood, so the box is secure and won't slide all over the place. I do have a prop rod in place to keep it open, but I do have plans in the future to put gas struts on there to keep it to where it can securely open and close without having to prop it open like that. As far as how I'm liking the toolbox, it is great. It's a great step up from my previous box. I have plenty of space for my extra tools, um, all of my cases with specialty tools and everything. I say one of the only major drawback I feel about this box is the matte finish is very, very prone to grease. But other than that, it's a great box. And like I try to explain to all the guys who try to get into the tool business, or not the tool business, but who try to become mechanics and so forth, it's your toolbox is a vessel. All its purpose is to store your tools. It doesn't matter if it's Snap-on, Matco, Cornwell, whatnot. Their primary purpose is to hold tools. When you want to shell out the big money, you shell it out on your specialty tools, anything that's going to take and actually help make your job go by faster. Because in the game of flat rate, it's all about speed and efficiency. If you can fix a job in a timely manner and efficiently, that's what's going to get you by. And if you can save at any juncture, by all means, buy a decent toolbox that's going to store your shit. Put your money elsewhere. And that's all I have to say about this. I'm loving this box.